I know in terms of the Amaranth lineup where Digital World sits, this will surprise you as to why I'm entering it. But as many of you will note from what I've expressed previous with Amaranth, and my ambition with spotlighting good music on this channel, I want these videos to be a mutual experience. They're not just for me in terms of introducing myself or reintroducing myself, as you saw by the titling. This departs from the official brand philosophy of this channel for the most part. I want these to be a holistic experience for both me and you, the listener. I want you to be able to approach on even footing, perhaps of different standing to me, for sure. Maybe you happen to be a first initiate listener as of this track with Amaranth, or maybe you're a longtime listener that predates me on when I arrived very recently to their works in greater detail. If, whatever respect, I hope to welcome your company as we enjoy good art together in general. And music for me is always satisfied in that respect. It's a deep first love in my life, and I crave that fellowship experience of enjoying good art with somebody else. And just forming that point of connection. You know, for me, as I've said many times, my music tastes don't have much cohesion in my personal life, but I've loved being able to meet a number of you who share in my interests and remind me that I'm not the only metalhead guy in the world, and I'm not the only person that deeply reveres the European metal scene, ever since I've been much more so introduced than I used to be. And I had entrances paid for me for sure, but I've invested a lot of hours on this channel getting a greater introduction to many different artists in that realm of the world, and I've been pleased every single time. Amaranth? No such exception. Though the angle I approached, as I've said many times at the beginning in terms of my history with them, they were one of those groups that I humored on speculation of just perusing around before I enhanced music coverage as an expression on this channel. They did pop in, and I forgot about them until I went back, because a number of my viewers had requested, you should go to Spotlight Amaranth. And I'd heard the name, right? They've got great circulation. And I was gathering up my list, and in perusing for the different selection of tracks I could possibly cover, I came across 365. I'm like, I remember this video. And I clicked on, like, oh yeah, I'd seen this in passing before. So with Amaranth, it wasn't technically fresh. Every piece, for the most part, with some exception, was on this channel in terms of what I spotlighted, but my entrance wasn't. It was just sort of a return to a great group on Vision. And in the Swedish regard, there's so many Swedish groups I listen to in the heavy metal territory that have just instantly appealed with me. They're so good. Amaranth, though, wide scope on their delivery, on vocal talents, on musical creativity, different genre feels. This band offers so much, and I hope for those of you who have not entertained them yet, you have a fun first entrance of perhaps Digital World, or maybe one of the many other tracks I spotlighted here. And for those of you who are devout Amaranth fans, who have been waiting for, their name to appear on this channel for quite a while, and for me to deliver my promise, as I always try to, God willing, I hope to satisfy you with, I'm sure, again, like I said, many of you will look at the presence of Digital World and be like, but you started on Manifest, right? You're digging way back on this one. As I said, music for me on this channel, I want it to be a mutual enjoyment on behalf of me and listener. And I'm sure you'll be able to look oddity of positioning in exchange for more Amaranth focus. But again, in large respect for fresh listeners, I want to compel an interest. And if you are a metal fan or you just enjoy good music generally, I have heard Digital World. That's why you see the Reintroduction philosophy. It's not a fresh first entrance, although I wished, if I'd known in retrospect, it could have been. But this is, in my opinion, one of Amaranth's strongest rock numbers that I've heard. And to compel an interest for you to dig deeper, perhaps, with them, I wanted to showcase it. Again, I love spotlighting good art, even in specific sake. And for Digital World, I did think about, do I want to save this track for, I've made mention before of another channel I have in development. It's still in development for those of you who are like, you haven't mentioned this in a while. There's a lot of hoops I'm jumping through at the moment in terms of consideration of how to bring it to life, but it's still in the waiting game. It's a spin-off to this channel, sort of a sister one, in that it's going to be able to spotlight, again, with the Reintroduction model here, familiar listens. That's what's going to be more so of a mainstay there, but it's going to be an extension of this channel with respect to taking deep dives into good tracks I'm accustomed to. Maybe I could have saved Digital World. Maybe I'll be able to listen to some other Amaranth pieces in the background, because I'm going to peruse their deeper library with exception to this. I'm cutting it off here with an open door for the future, of course. As I'm making this video, the new track for the upcoming album has been announced to debut this Wednesday. I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait to cover it. But for past releases with Amaranth, I'm cutting the rewind off here, and maybe saving some future releases I'll entertain later for that upcoming channel where we can talk about Amaranth there as well, from past releases that I had not necessarily showcased yet. I got special plans. Keep your eyes peeled for that channel, hopefully to evolve soon. I don't know when it'll be launching. I'm still working on it, though, just for anybody who is curious. But with Amaranth, as I said, I love spotlighting them, and one more track, even if it's a bit dated in terms of release date and it departs significantly from the other ones I've spotlighted, why not hear one more, right? I'm sure Amaranth fans will appreciate me being able to provide my thoughts on this work, but for anybody who's looking to be introduced to Amaranth, I feel this is one of the most dynamic pieces that will compel an interest for you if there others haven't yet. I love Digital World, I hope you do too. And this was pre-Nils Molin coming on the group with another clean vocalist. I don't remember his name at the moment, but it was cool to be introduced. Ah, I love this entrance. Man, this is a thick rock aggression. I admire that strong bass. I still miss Henrique, by the way. Man, the execution on this number is perfect. Oh, I love that wind-up. And this definitely has a mainstream Swedish feel. If you're accustomed to any particular expressions of common appearance in Swedish metal, this has a dominant cohesion. Henrik's vocals always just so strong. I can't wait to hear more of him from whatever he does next. And when that rock bassist intrudes, man. Just so thick. And the scaling on the chorus sections for me is just perfect. The key choice too, great fit. And the development on this section, with the isolation. Start a revolution. I love it. Start a revolution now. And the wind up, the modulation here. Ah, it's so perfect. How could I not spotlight that one? You know, I just saw the video once and I was like, okay, that one's coming to the channel. I know it departs, but you have to about strong music listens. I mean, how can you escape Digital World? The precision on that number, the emphasis, the energy, just so invigorating. I love it. Every minute of that piece, every second is just so perfect on delivery. And it's mainstay Amaranth. And mainstay Swedish metal. You know, I don't know why it's like, there's such a cohesion on part of not only the electronic emphasis on part of a number of groups that I've tempted at this point and been pleased by generally, but what is this emphasis in terms of social commentary on digital devices? I mean, Amaranth's played around with this before, let's say, for example, to some degree with Viral, but the emphasis on technology, I mean, that's popped up before in Metalite, I think there's been a couple others as well. But it's like there's just this common focus on technology for some reason. It's really interesting to see this point of overlap. At some level, in the way I've looked at it, Sweden is a bit isolated. There's all these common trends I don't see even within European metal. And there's a lot of cohesion generally amidst other groups and genres and different types of techniques, but that's, across varied countries. This is like one entity. It's just so funny to me why there's so much overlap here in certain themes. Anyway, I appreciate the work, and the lyrics are quite good too, at least on the vision of it, especially in the times we live in where technology is of such prominent emphasis in our daily lives. And I'm not trying to position myself as a hypocrite. I know I utilize technology and it is imperative to the execution of content on this channel. I get it. Admittedly, I spend way too much time on technology as is. I mean, don't we all, though? I like the way it's invented, though. Freedom is for sale if you give them control. It's just, man, that line always hits. But the delivery and the precision on the execution, namely on vocals. I mean, the music side on the energy of this piece, the hard basis, and that isolation when Henrique comes in on the bridge scream. Oh, I love it. I love that it drops and then instantly just goes boom. Just that instant throttle back in on re-entrance. But that thick riff in the entirety of the song, just such good choices here. And then at this point, this is more so a Henrique and Elise showcase. The other, again, I forget their past lead vocalist by name on the clean side, but he's more of like a subtle presence here that interweaves from time to time with Elise, but she is really given center stage, and she's such a capable vocalist. I love listening to her talents and her capability in range and pitch, and in particular, do I want to call it an accent? I don't know, can you really hear that? Yes, you can hear it, I think, when she's talking, but in execution of the different notes, I think you kind of get a bit of a wind of it, but she's just got such a nice mainstream feel to her voice in terms of her delivery. But, man, I love the navigation of it, but Henrique, oh man, I've said it all the time, recently, I'm going to miss him not being a part of Amaranth anymore. And he left for understandable reasons, but he was just so good. Such a strong screamer. I hope he does more with that. I'd love to see it. Whatever next project is, coming up for him. That'd be cool to get a reprisal performance. Anyway, Digital World is a really strong number. I'm like, how can I not showcase this one? Ever since I first heard it, I'm like, I wish I could have brought it to the channel on a first impression basis, but if you forgive that, it gives you Amaranth fans one extra occurrence of them prior to anything new coming out. And again, I'm looking forward to that new album unveiling with that first single. I've been waiting for a little while. I've been constantly rechecking the Amaranth social pages to see, has anything been announced? Have I missed anything? We have that coming this Wednesday. At least as I'm making this, I'll probably upload late. Apologies, but I'm looking forward to it whenever it drops. But I consider this rewind mandatory. Again, like I said, I want these videos in large part to be a 50-50 balance of appeal. Not just, for me exercising effort in perusing good art for my own interest, but also for you. Compelling an interest to dig deeper with great vocal talents and good presences in the music world generally, specifically on metal regards. Though maybe I take some divergent steps from time to time on different genre footings. Metal and rock are more of a mainstay here in the way that I favor them. And with Amaranth, I hope you have the same interest that I have coming off this piece. It is such a strong number. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below if you do wish to disclose your perspective and your angle of approach. First time listen, long time Amaranth fan, I welcome either. I'd love to hear what your opinion is on Digital World down below. It's such a strong piece on rock delivery. The force of it, I just constantly am enamored by. I can't wait for more, though. More Amaranth to come, for sure. In the present day. This was a bit of a departure route, for sure, but I like to human it either way. I'm sure you Amaranth fans will forgive that I'm very late on this, and that you got one more Amaranth showcase from the past. And it's a good work to consider. It really is one of their strongest numbers, in my opinion. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.